issues do you face specific to screen time or limiting or not limiting, how often and how much your kids can play video games?
We are busy, so we don't have a lot of time to play. So, as far as, me being really having to monitor that, I don't have that problem. But I do have several rules that we follow in our home. Like, we don't have TVs in our bedrooms. Our kids, it's just not allowed. We have a room, mutual space that we play video games and watch TV. So I think that makes it become more of a social thing, rather than you're in your room by yourself playing a game, you invite friends over and hang out in the living room and play together. So that's one of the things we do. And then, as far as like iPhones and things like that, for our younger ones, 9 o'clock, phones go off, because I don't think there's any reason to be up texting or on the internet after that, so that's one of our goals in our home.
No, that's great. That's great. And actually what you're doing is really in alignment with what the American Association of Pediatrics says. They said that kids should not actually be exposed to electronic media either during mealtime or actually after bedtime. Because there is that temptation to, lay under the covers and text all night long. And so they've actually come out with recommendations that kids should have no more than 2 hours of screen time. And it sounds like your family's busy. I know at my house, between soccer and piano and homework, especially during the week, my kids hardly have time to spend 2 hours doing anything, much less being in front of the screen. So it's really great to hear that you have some of those rules as well in your house.
Okay. Let's switch gears. Are you familiar with the rating board?
No, that's one of the questions that I have for sure for you. I mean, I'm a little bit because our kids play games and all that, but I think that's something really important for parents to understand is how do we know what's appropriate for our kids? How do we as parents check up on that kind of thing? Exactly.
Well, I got something for you. Her job is to market video games, and she's an absolute expert. We're going to take a few minutes and educate this group about the ESRB.
That's great. Well, and as a mom, I certainly appreciate the tools and information that the ESRB provides. They provide reliable information about the content of a game as well as the age appropriateness of a game. And actually, the front of each package displays the rating icon, while on the back of the package, you can actually find the content descriptors that actually factored into that particular game's rating. So you as a parent can then decide if that is appropriate for your kids. And the ESRB has also done a great job of actually putting what are called rating summaries that are on their website at esrb.org. So these rating summaries include very specific and much more detailed content information about what's in a game. So again, you can make that decision. And also, there's an ESRB mobile app, so that actually if you have that app downloaded while you're at the store, while you're trying to make that purchase decision, you can actually access these rating summaries and actually make that decision right on the spot.
That's great. That's really good. And another thing I think parents may not even know is on an iPhone, you can set ratings limits on what you can download and what they can see, and that's been something really valuable to me too, to not be so worried about what your kids are looking at or whatever. You can just go into the iPhone settings and set those ratings limits, and you know you're covered.
Yeah, and one thing for parents to remember too is that the ESRB is really just a starting point. I mean, there's so many tools, there's so much research, and there's so much information out there that it certainly can be daunting. Even for me, being in the industry and knowing a lot about what's happening in the world of video games, but our friends at the ESRB have done an amazing job of consolidating that information under a parental controls tab on their website. So you can find information about online safety, about setting controls, and also just as importantly about how to have an appropriate dialogue with your kids to make sure that everybody in your family is actually playing age-appropriate games.
That's great.
Let's head back to Twitter. What do we got for us, Jen? Anything?
We've got from Casey Mason at Practice Zoo. I love the game ratings take the question out of whether it's appropriate or not.
There you go. I'm happy about that. It makes it a lot easier. But you know something? I'll tell you what else is going to make it easier. Every year at this event, we really try to bring you guys something that helps you become a more informed parent when it comes to video games. And this year, we've got a whole new category of things. And we're going to call that Billy's list of games, or of terms that every parent should know right now. And I think this will be helpful to you because I'm sure your kids are probably using some of these words. So I'm going to give you 5 words that might even help your pocketbook a little bit too. So let's start with number 1, massively multiplayer online game. You heard these are called MMOs, right? I play them, my kids play them. Kids younger and younger. Here's a kid, you play MMOs down here, right? Exactly. So the thing about MMOs, they're great to play in, except for the fact that you gotta realize that your kids are playing with other people, strangers, people you don't know. And it's really important that you guys as parents understand what MMOs your kids are playing and what are the parental controls associated with that particular game. And that'll be very important in the safety of your children. Now, the second term I like, hit it, free to play. Now, free to play, that means your game is free, right? Wrong. Free to play means you get the game for free, but things inside the game actually cost money. Levels or items or outfits or whatever. So you end up having to spend money. Now, anybody here given a little bit of money to Candy Crush lately? There's a free-to-play game for you. Now, a day doesn't go by that we don't see a headline about some 7-year-old running up a $900 bill on his parents' credit card. The most important thing you need to know about free-to-play games is set those credit card limits in the device you're using on. They're on PCs, they're on iPads and mobile devices, and they're on consoles now. So it's important to set that limitation. And also, and the rule in our house, we never give out the password. So I don't ever want the $900 credit card bill. Next, oh wait, not to complicate things, but there are also MMO free-to-play games. So now we've got two dynamics. So your kid is playing an MMO and it's free-to-play. Watch the checkbook and watch the online settings. Number 3, profile. On the new systems and the old systems on the consoles, profiles are places where you put in information about yourself. It's important as parents that we look at what is on those profiles. We don't want to see ages, we don't want to see phone numbers, addresses. The most important thing is keep off those main pieces of information, and that's your safeguard, that nobody is seeing your child's profile online and getting your home number or anything like that. So always look at the profiles, and they're easily accessible on all of the game systems.
I think that's really important because I think, young kids don't think about that. They don't think about those things unless we teach them and talk to them about it. They'll just put their phone number out there or whatever because it's just not something that they realize could be a really big deal. So I think it's something that we have to be diligent about teaching our kids safety.
Yeah. I did catch my son in RuneScape used our phone number as his user ID because he didn't know how to do it. It was a rude awakening, let's just say. It was a rude awakening. Because everybody does it. No, not everybody. Next word is friends list. So what you need to know about the friends list is that if your son or daughter plays the game online with some other people, they can see that name and they can friend your child. Okay? Now, it's okay if you have the settings in place on most of the consoles that will allow a password to be put in before that you can accept that friend thing. But if you have a friends list, check your child's friends list and see what's on there. It's good to occasionally look in and say, who are these people? Look at their profiles, see what they're saying. Look at their age, look at their, where they're coming from. It's okay to go into your parental controls and just shut it all off. It's all there. Now, the final word I have for you is fun. Okay, so personal experience here. First time I watched my son play Minecraft, I walked up and I said, what are you doing and how could that possibly be fun? These guys are laughing. He's thus since become addicted to it. Fun, I realize, is a relative term, and as parents, it's the responsibility for us to realize that even though we don't think it's fun, it doesn't mean kids don't think it's fun. So let's let them have some fun. So how's that, Nicole?
Thank you, Bill.